These are a few items from our annual report on water quality, and I won't go through all of them, but you can see the measurements, and RPU's average is in the middle. What you can see is in each case, it's below the state MCL, or maximum contaminant level, and there's all sorts of different measurements. Clarity is actually how clear is it, and then there's these others. Now, there's a lot more that we test for and a lot more that we present to the public. I only picked this one slide, but again, if anybody wants to see the complete report, they can look here or they can go online. Today there was a report in the press enterprise, and they represented tests which were over the legal limits as being those of treated water. And we had discussions with the press today, and they said they contacted the environmental working group who said, no, these are tests of treated water. These are tests of untreated groundwater before it's filtered, treated, and made potable by removing all the contaminants, or the contaminants through a treatment process. So the EWG is even providing information to other reporting agencies that's incorrect. There's been coverage over the last week in newspapers, radio, television, as I said. One of the most important ones, I think, was actually an Instant Riverside and posted today. The reporter from that website actually called the author of the person that wrote the study and said, what sorts of contaminants are you saying is in the water? And she said, oh, there's nitrate violations, which is absolutely incorrect. And she said there's 6 of them. If we had that violation, we would have to send out a letter to every customer that says there's a violation. That would be 6 times 300,000 notifications. And that it is absolutely incorrect. And when he pressed the author, the author basically said, I have to go. My press staff says there's an emergency. I'll call you back. Hung up and never called back. This has had more hits on Instant Riverside's website by 10 times than any other item that has ever been on the website. So people have heard this incorrect information, and it's important that we correct the information to let everyone know that their water is safe to drink. Our conclusion that we're putting forward is the environmental working group's reporting methodology is irresponsible and misleading. They did none of this testing themselves. They pulled tests off of the report that we make to the EPA and the California Department of Health. And the interesting thing is we do a whole bunch of extra testing here in Riverside to ensure the water's safe, much more than is required. And the more tests you do to ensure that the water is safe for your customers, the more they say it results in improper reporting and that the water has more problems. So the more you try to do to make sure the water's safe, through their skewed reporting, it makes it look like there's more problems. Our water delivered at the home tap is well within the compliance of state and federal limits and is very high quality water. And we actually already have a high level of consumer confidence because of this high quality drinking water and the fact that we have never had a violation of contaminants for the state and federal requirements. So we have never had a violation that's reportable for our water. It is absolutely high quality and safe to drink. We have some representatives from some other water utilities who might like to speak tonight. And we have John Rossi and board member Tom Evans from Western, Jane Joy and Donna Jacomet from Eastern. We have Celeste Cantu from SOP, and we have several members from the Board of Public Utilities. Finally, I want to leave on this slide and then cite one additional piece of information. Again, our water is of the highest quality and safe to drink. An interesting kind of issue with their listing of number 1 through number 100 is our water in California surpasses the requirements of Texas, who's listed as number 1 of the highest quality drinking water in their list. It means, in conclusion though, that our water is actually of higher and better quality than the utility they listed on their list as number 1. So even though they listed us at the bottom of the list, if they had done their homework and figured out, which we believe absolutely they know the difference between groundwater and ground or source water and tap water testing, but our water should be number 1, and actually the testing would prove that it's higher quality than the number 1 on their list. So with that, I would like to ask a representative from each of the other utilities to come forward. I think John was going to start off. John, there you are.
Thank you, Dave. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, John Rossi, General Manager of Western Municipal Water District. It's a pleasure to make a couple brief comments. First, to tell you that there's thousands of engineers, chemists, people working throughout Southern California on making sure that drinking water is as safe as tests require, much safer than it needs to be from a federal and state standards. We exceed all those standards throughout Southern California. I serve as water master on the Santa Ana River water master and as well in the Bunker Hill Basin that covers the pumping locations that the city is very blessed to have as assets and resources for the last 100 years. And I want to commend the city, the council, and citizens of this city for doing what you're doing, spending tens of thousands, tens of millions of dollars rather, on cleaning up groundwater, making sure, again, that it greatly exceeds these standards, that you clean up these basins in a way that makes them assets for our children and our grandchildren for years to come. But we stand by as partners to assist with you. We've been talking today with the American Water Works Association, the Association of California Water Agencies, and the Metropolitan Water District about the importance of setting this record straight, because this is not just an issue for this city. It's a very critical issue for all retail water providers throughout the country, and we want to make sure that this record is clarified and you get all the credit you deserve for the great water that you serve to your citizens. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Jane Joy from Eastern. Jane.
Good evening. I'm Jane Joy with Eastern Municipal Water District. I'm Director of Environmental and Regulatory Compliance, so my group is responsible for the water quality. So this hit home. We have found the exact same findings that you have found with this EWG report, is that the data was completely misrepresented and analyzed, and we had the same experience where a lot of our water, groundwater from our wells and our desalter wells were included in their listing as potable water, and we do the same thing. We desalinate, we treat, we disinfect. And so we would like to partner with you in any kind of way to correct this situation, because I think it could create an unnecessary stir. We have the same record that you do as far as water quality. We have not had a violation of federal or state standards since I've been there, since '01. So we are very proud of the water that we serve, and I know your water folks as well, and it's the same situation. Take great pride in what we produce and that it is safe, and and the report is just, it's a just misrepresentation of the data. So.
And Celeste Cantu from SAPA would like to make a couple comments.